Hello guys, I hope that you're all really well. So on Instagram a little while ago I asked what sort of videos you guys would like to see, and one of the top videos, which I'm really surprised at actually, was one of these assumption about me videos. So if you've not heard of one of these assumption videos before, you basically ask your audience on Instagram what their assumptions are about you, and they will come back with their assumptions. I feel like the more I say the word assumptions, the more it just doesn't seem to be like a real word. So I was a little bit, I don't know, I was a little bit nervous about doing this because I think it's very much like opening yourself up to criticism maybe, but then I thought actually I could turn it around into a positive thing, and if I got anything negative I can answer it honestly. But I actually got some really nice assumptions about me, a couple of weird ones, a couple of negative ones, but I'm just going to get started and get through them. I've got them all here on my phone. I did a little screenshot of your answers. So the first assumption about me is you're actually quite shy in person. So this is a really weird one because I definitely wouldn't label myself as shy, but I do have that initial sort of social anxiety of walking into a room of people that I don't know. But the second I normally start talking to somebody and click with somebody, then I'm not shy at all. I'm probably the opposite. I'm a little bit of an oversharer, an overhugger. I kind of forget people have personal space and they don't really know me. So yeah, I wouldn't really label myself as shy in person, and I don't think anyone else would label me that either. But then on the flip side of that, I'm also not the most confident person ever. I don't have a lot of confidence in myself or belief in myself, but I think I kind of mask that with this outgoing, bubbly kind of personality. Now the next one is really nice actually, and it's you're a really good friend. I hope that my friends would describe me as a really good friend. I've got a really lovely bunch of friends around me. They are all really good friends to me, and I treat them as I would like to be treated. I'm a big believer in supporting other people, and I think if you throw good energy and good vibes and kindness out there, then you'll get that back yourself, which I find really works. I also like to make my friends feel really loved. I don't shower them with gifts or anything, but I just like to, you know, recognise when they do something good in their life, or I don't know, if they look really nice, I will just always tell them that they look really nice. And yeah, I think those are just the kind of things that make you a good friend. So the next one is that you're a calm and lovely mummy. I'm sure that I am a lovely mummy sometimes, but I definitely wouldn't say that I'm a calm mummy. I'm actually a lot less calm than I used to be. I think when Harry was a baby, I was definitely a lot more calm, but as he's got older and a little bit more testing, I've definitely got less patience and I'm a lot less calm than I used to be. Compared to my husband, I am definitely calm. He's very erratic and a very short fuse, loses his temper quite quickly, whereas I can kind of keep my cool for a little bit longer. But yeah, I'm not a very calm, gentle, you know, sort of like hippie mum. I'm actually quite strict and a bit of a shouty mum, if I'm honest. So the next one is, I assume that you don't have any tattoos. Well, you would assume wrong. I actually have 2 tattoos. I have one on my stomach that you rarely see unless there's any bikini shots of me out there. There probably isn't many. It's on my stomach. It's like a little swirly thing with stars. I absolutely hate it. I'm kind of waiting for pain-free tattoo removal to become a thing, and then I will 100% get it removed. Biggest regret of my life. And then I also have another tattoo. It's really awkward to show. How do I do this? Another tattoo here. Again, it was kind of like one of those things that I just got done to be a bit rebellious when I was like 18, 19. It says love in Greek, but at the time I'd never even been to Greece, so I just don't really know why I did it. But I don't hate that one as much because I could kind of like get away with it and be like, yeah, it says Scott in Latin, or I don't know, but... Yeah. So the next assumption is, I assume that you have a lot of money. So this is a bit of a difficult one to answer, isn't it? Because I think everybody's definition of rich or being well off is very different. I am definitely not rich. In case you didn't know, I have 2 jobs. So I work a normal sort of office job 3 days a week part-time, and then I do blogging, YouTube and social media the rest of the time, and I'm also a mum. I wouldn't say I'm well off. I would say that me and Scott are comfortable. We don't have a lot of savings though. We kind of live month to month. You know, we don't ever really know 100% what we're going to get because Scott lives on his bonuses mainly and I live on all of my blogging and social media stuff. We don't buy lavish things. I think Scott probably spends more money than me on fashion. You know, I shop in Primark. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I do live in a nice house. It's not like the biggest house in the world. It's a semi-detached 4-bedroom house, but compared to some people, obviously I am well off compared to them. Anyway, I feel like I'm gonna stop answering this assumption because it's quite hard, but I would say that that assumption isn't true. I'm definitely not rich, but I do have enough money to live a nice life, if that makes any sense. So the next one is one of the weird ones that I got. Sorry to the person that asked this, but I just think it's really weird because you obviously follow me, but yeah, let me just tell you what it is and then you can make your own sort of judgment whether you think this is weird or not. But this person's written, I assume that you have more children than Harry from your past relationships. I'm so confused. Basically, I think this person thinks that I've got another child that I don't put on camera or something. Or I don't know, I've got a child that lives with somebody else. I don't know, but you are definitely wrong. I don't have any other children from past relationships. I really like the next one actually. I assume that you'd be the first one to order shots and lead your friends astray on a night out. It kind of depends which group of friends I'm with, but definitely I think you're probably right. I am in the group that suggests the shots, and then I'm also in the group that immediately regrets it afterwards. So this kind of brings me on to the next assumption, that you get a bit wild on a night out. So I guess it kind of depends what you call wild. I mean, I don't get like completely off my face and throw up everywhere or start fights or anything like that, but I do love to go a bit crazy on a night out. I don't have them very often, so I definitely make the most of dancing. I am always first on the dance floor. I'm usually the last one home. I never really know when to stop or when to call it a night. So yeah, in terms of, you know, having some shots and dancing and, you know, being a bit crazy and not really caring about who's around me, then yeah, I'm definitely wild. Oh, this one's nice. So I assume you're a real supporter of people, not just someone who claims to be. I would say that assumption is correct. I don't just support people for fun. I support people because I either really believe in them, I really believe in the work that they're doing. So if we're talking in terms of like Instagram and sharing different accounts and photos that I love and commenting on things, it's because I genuinely either love the person or the content that they're creating. Obviously, as someone who loves taking photography and being really creative, I really enjoy following accounts that are really creative too, and I'll always support them and big them up. I support all my friends in all the things that they do. Most of my friends have little small businesses, so yeah, I guess I am a supportive person. And like I said earlier in one of the assumptions, I think that if you give out what you want to receive, then kind of just makes the world a better place. Oh, this one's a good one. I assume that even though you like your job, you'd like to be a stay-at-home mum. Actually, no. So when I was on maternity leave, I think I probably could have not gone back to work and made my blogging and YouTube and social media kind of get me by at that stage. But I actually really missed working when I was on maternity leave. I don't know if it's because when Harry was born, he was diagnosed as deaf, so a lot of my maternity leave was eaten up with hospital appointments. It was very stressful, and perhaps going back to work was like my escapism from all of that. I don't know, but I just realised that when I was being a stay-at-home mum on maternity leave, it just wasn't for me. I absolutely obviously wanted to spend my time with Harry, but I also needed that sort of structure and routine of work and kind of getting stuck into something else. Now it's a bit more of a difficult one because obviously being a stay-at-home mum wouldn't really work because Harry's at school. I guess in the summer holidays I kind of do wish I was a stay-at-home mum, but then again I do really like going to work. Now this next assumption was one of the ones that I found a little bit weird, slightly negative, but then when I kind of thought about my answer, I'm actually quite glad that somebody asked this and that I can kind of answer it completely honestly. I assume that when you found out Harry was deaf, you wished he wasn't. This is quite tough to answer, isn't it? Because if it was me answering, of course, I wouldn't change anything about him. I am so proud of him. He is deaf. he wears cochlear implants to allow him to hear, but there's nothing that he can't do. I just think that being deaf is who Harry is. It's part of his personality, part of his story, and it's also opened up so many opportunities for me and Harry. We've met so many people through it, and also helped so many people. It's a really, really tough one to answer, isn't it? Because nobody is gonna wish that they had a deaf baby that they would have to put through really serious, potentially life-threatening surgery. And obviously, for his sake, it would be a lot easier for him if he wasn't deaf and he didn't have to wear cochlear implants and things. But I still just couldn't say that I wish that he wasn't, just because it's just who he is and it's our story. So thank you for the person that asked that. I would say that your assumption is wrong. So on to the next one. I assume you were popular at school. I don't know. That's a weird one, actually. I actually moved senior schools. I'm assuming we're talking like senior school here. I moved senior schools halfway through because I went to one school and my parents wanted me to go to a different school, and I got a place in year 9. So I moved to this other school, and I guess I wasn't really in a proper friendship group because I guess they've all kind of formed by then. So I think that's when I became one of these people that just had lots of different groups of friends, and since then I've always had like lots of different groups, and quite a lot of those groups have now come together and made friends, which is really, really lovely. But I don't think myself, I wasn't a popular person, but I was friends with the popular people. Such a weird thing to think about, isn't it? School's so fickle, isn't it? But yeah, I was kind of like friends with everybody. Whilst we're on that subject, actually, just a little bit of word of advice for anybody who is at school or of school age watching this. It isn't everything to be popular at school. It doesn't really mean anything when you get out there in the big wide world. I assume that you don't like your freckles. I personally love them. You just seem to try and cover them up. So actually, this is kind of true and kind of not, because up until like last year, I absolutely hated my freckles. Like, I just couldn't stand them. I have a lot of freckles, a lot on my face and a lot on my body. And then last year, this is really silly actually, last year, I think it was last year, when Harry and Meghan Markle got married, I know she doesn't have a lot, but Meghan Markle didn't really have foundation on at her wedding, and you could see all her freckles on her face, and I just thought, oh my god, that's stunningly beautiful. And I thought, actually, I have freckles and they're not that bad. So in the summer when I was quite tanned and my freckles had come out, I actually embraced them quite a lot, and I didn't wear a lot of foundation. I just wore like a tinted moisturiser and a bronzer, and I actually kind of fell in love with my freckles again. I assume that you're the crazy younger sister, so I am one of 3 sisters and I am 100% the craziest. I assume that you have naturally great skin and naturally good hair. I would say your assumption is 100% wrong. I definitely don't have naturally good skin. I know my sister's going to watch this and she's going to be sat laughing because she knows that she got the good skin and I got the bad skin. So my skin has cleared up a lot. I have suffered from acne in the past. Before I had acne, I've had eczema on my face. I've also had a bout of psoriasis on my face recently. I've never really had perfect skin or naturally great skin. I do feel very lucky that my acne is gone now and I'm kind of just left with a few scars and things, but I definitely don't have naturally good skin. I can hardly use any products on it. I have to be so selective, but it's really nice of you to think so. Oh, and the good hair comment, this takes a lot of work. So the last assumption made me giggle, and it was, I can't imagine that you going off on a rant and swearing about somebody that has annoyed you. So I am terrible. If someone has annoyed me or someone's been mean or negative, then I will go off on one. I wouldn't probably do it to anybody's face. I'm not very confrontational, but I would definitely F and blind and swear, and I'd always stand up for somebody if something's wrong. So yeah, I'd say you're wrong. I definitely swear and I definitely rant. So thank you to everybody that submitted an assumption to me. I think you'll agree that they are quite positive ones. I hope that I have given you good answers if you wanted to know anything in particular, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!